Hello everybody and welcome back to another video, another book related video here on my channel. As you guys already know because you clicked on this video, we are doing a book unhaul. This is actually for my birthday. I'm getting rid of about 16 books as of right now. I still have a few hours basically to change my mind if I want to get rid of more, but we are getting rid of 16 books for my birthday and I'm going to go to Half Price Books and hopefully trade these in, get a couple bucks, and then turn around and buy some more books for my birthday. The book shopping will be more in its own video, or at least a book haul. I want to do both book shopping and book haul. I just don't know because I've never really recorded too much out in public using this camera, so it'll be a new adjustment. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the 16 books that I want to get rid of for my shelves. I pretty much have what I'm gonna say 4 categories going on with the books that I want to get rid of. I have one category is books that I do want to read in the future. I just want to get bigger sizes. I don't like the sizes that I have or the versions that I have. The second category is books that I'm only getting rid of 1 or 2 books of the series because I have paperbacks and the rest of the series is hardback. So I just kind of want to swap them out for the hardback versions. Then I have some books that I read and I just didn't care much for. And my last category are books that I haven't read and I don't think I will ever get to, and I'm just gonna unhaul them before I keep them for many years and never read them. I guess we'll start with the first category, which is books that I want to get rid of because I do not like the size. I want to upgrade. I'm getting rid of the Fire and Ice series. This is the Game of Thrones. If you did not know, this is books 1 through 5 minus number 2, and that is because these are like the mass market paperback size. They're very tiny, very thick, uncomfortable to hold in your hand, especially for how thick these are. And I stumbled across book 2 in a thrift store in this size, and this size happens to be the same size as a normal hardback. It is absolutely ginormous compared to the versions that I have. Like, look at this size difference. Not to mention these are really stiff. Like I said, they're uncomfortable in the hand, and these are so floppy. You can't even hold them up. I feel like these would be so easy to read, and I'm excited to actually buy the whole series in this size. I feel like I will want to read these books more if I had them in this size. I don't know if that really makes sense, but at the same time, to me it makes sense, and that's really all that matters. So my first 4 books I'm getting rid of is sadly the Fire and Ice series. Hopefully I can find a couple books because the last time I went to Half Price Books and I was trying to find the bigger size, they did not have any in the version that I wanted, just like newer movie type or TV show type, I guess. My next small little category are books I'm buying the hardback version of. I'm gonna start with the 2 Harry Potter books that I'm getting rid of because the rest of my Harry Potter series is in hardcover. I had more hardcover than paperback, and I just feel like for that series, or specifically series in general, I'd like to keep them the same. Unlike a few authors, Nicholas Sparks is a good example. I have 11 hardcovers and only 8 paperbacks, but since they're not all in a series, I don't feel like they're that big of a deal. They're just the same author, but I feel like having different sizes is okay if it's not within the same series. And for me, the paperback and hardback didn't necessarily bother me until I had so many more hardbacks, and I was only missing replacing 2 paperbacks, and I could not find them in a thrift store. So I finally ordered off of Thrift Books these books, actually all these paperbacks that I'm switching to hardcover. So first we have The Sorcerer's Stone, and then book number 3, The Prisoner of Azkaban. They're in okay condition. This one's really bad compared to this one. I think it's just time to get rid of these and pick up some new ones. Same with Ginny Hahn's To All the Boys I Loved Before. When I originally found the series, it was at a thrift store, and I happened to find it at the exact same thrift store altogether. So the whole series was donated, but the first one was paperback and the last 2 were hardcovers. And I kind of like the colors and just how they feel, especially these types of books, reading them in hardcovers. And I think, I'm not positive if The Summer I Turned Pretty is in hardcover, but I wouldn't mind if they are getting that series in hardcover as well. Next I have Twilight. This one's a little funny one because I feel like I should not necessarily have to pay a couple bucks. I got them off Thrift Books, so I think the most expensive book was the Harry Potter's at like $5. But in Desert Industries out in Las Vegas, I got this for $1 or $2 years ago, and the rest of the whole series I got also at Desert Industries or maybe a Goodwill, but they weren't that expensive. And I also found The Host by Stephanie Meyer as well. That one is in hardcover. So since every single book from her, and I probably won't buy another book from her again, I'm just gonna keep them all in hardcover since I'm only missing 1. My next little category is books that I have read. I'm just really ready to get rid of them. I do feel a little bit bad about getting rid of this book. I ended up picking this up in Savers out in Las Vegas for, I think it was $2.49. It wasn't very expensive, but it was Then She Was Gone by Lisa Jewell. This is just such an abused and forgotten, and it's even ripping. This copy is so terrible, but if they only want to give me like 50 cents for that, that's totally fine. I kind of feel bad about selling it, but at the same time, if they even take it, that is. I'm just ready to get rid of it. It wasn't one of my favorite thrillers, and I did enjoy it, but I don't think I enjoyed it enough for it to sit on my shelf. I'm also getting rid of They Both Die at the End. I originally liked the concept of this. I liked the whole plot, but I also thought if the author would have just left them as friends, friends, it would have been so much better. It ruined it for me. I don't necessarily care for that, and I'm gonna just get rid of it because I don't think I'm ever gonna circle back to this, and I don't really want it on my shelf. It is in really good condition. It's probably one of the best condition books that I'm getting rid of. And then I have We Were Liars. This is another one that I read. I just didn't care much for. It wasn't a bad read, but there were some parts in it that were just very slow. I just didn't care that much about, and I also never wanted to pick up the next book, and I feel like somebody else could enjoy this so much more than I could. So since I read it, I did accomplish it. I think I read it actually this year, and I'm just ready to move on from it. All right, my final category is books that I have not read, but I don't think I'm gonna get to, so they gotta go. First, I have The Woman Inside by E.G. Scott. I actually got this because when we were out in Las Vegas before we moved, we had a community garage sale. I wanted one book in specific. She ended up giving me a whole stack of books. This was one of them that she gave me for free, and it's a thriller. I think it would be maybe an okay book, but I also don't think I'm ever gonna get to it. I feel like it's just gonna sit on my shelf for years and years, and then maybe years from now I would get rid of it. So because I'm being more picky about my books right now, especially since we're going to be moving again, I just want to completely get rid of it, clean up my shelves a little bit. Also, so I have an excuse to go buy more books since I'll be selling more books. Also, from that same woman who gave me a couple books, I'm going to get rid of Lisa Jackson's Wicked Ways. Also, this is by Nancy Bush. She did give me this one too, called The Neighbors, and this one does seem intriguing. It's also on my TBR, and I think I'm gonna try and read that one and also keep it. But Wicked Ways, even though it sounds interesting, like I said, I just don't care much for the size, and I just don't really feel like I'm gonna circle to it. I don't feel like I'm gonna pick it up. It is almost 500 pages, and maybe somebody else will find it and wonder what it is, or read the back and see and think that it sounds really good, so maybe they'll pick it up and this will be their next 5-star read or next favorite book. I just don't think it's going to be beneficial for me. And now, this might be a little bit, not necessarily controversial, but some people might not agree with me on this. These 4 books are the books that I'm most excited to get rid of. Me finally getting rid of them is like a breath of fresh air in my mind. First, I have Barefoot by Ellen Hilderbrand. I read The Hotel Nantucket, and I loved that book to a point. There were some things that I definitely didn't like, but as I kept reading Ellen Hilderbrand's books, I rated them 3 stars, 2 stars. And it's mainly because you could cut her books in half, and half of that information could easily be gotten rid of because she likes to use a lot of filler to explain a character for pages and pages, and then she'll circle back and be like, oh, by the way, we were talking about this, so let me get back to what I was talking about. She just kind of sidetracks. I can't stand that. There's a lot of topics that I can't stand because she tries to be very politically correct in her books, and I know that's something that a lot of people enjoy nowadays or they want to make acceptable, but sometimes it's okay to have your own opinions, and if you don't like certain things, why would you keep reading books that the author always puts certain things in all of her books? That's just how I feel. So since I never have fun reading her books, they always make me pretty much go in a slump. I'm ready to get rid of them. So I have Barefoot by her. I also have Summer of '69, The Rumor, and lastly Golden Girls. Like I said, these are the books I'm most excited to get rid of. With these books, I really do hope that somebody else can find them and buy them from half price books, hopefully not spending a bunch of money on them, but hopefully somebody else can enjoy them because I just kind of think that she's not the author for me. She's a little bit overhyped in a bad way, and I hate to say that, but it's just for me personally, I hate hearing about her and I hate hearing about her books. I can never find a book that I really care about. Just The Hotel Nantucket. That is the only book actually down here. This is the only book that I probably will keep from her, and I'm okay with that. I think having one good book is good. I've gotten rid of 3 or 5 books from her that I have read, and I just cannot stand them. So instead of putting me in a slump or basically forcing myself to read her books, I think I'm just gonna get rid of them. Just say my goodbyes now. I think it'll just make my life so much easier. So I'm sorry if you don't agree with me, but that's okay. We all have different taste. We especially have different taste in authors, and also we have different opinions. We might even have different religions or just moral things that we go by. That is all actually 17 books because I ended up in the middle of this video adding this book to my get rid of and unhaul pile. So that is all 17 books that I'm getting rid of in this video. Stay tuned for my birthday video. At the very least, it will be a birthday haul, more so a book haul over a couple months, but especially for my birthday, and hopefully I will record me shopping as well. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope to see you all in another video here on my channel, and God bless.